Salary sacrifice pensions can result in an increase in contributions into your pension pot of 38%. But the catch is you need to get your employer's cooperation. If your employer isn't already offering a salary sacrifice arrangement, you'll have to get them to agree to it and to do the necessary paperwork. It's not too onerous, but it is still additional paperwork. How much bargaining power you have with your employer will, of course, depend on how big the company is and how senior maybe you are. If you hold a senior position at a small or medium-sized company and you have a great relationship with your employer, you should find it relatively easy to get them to introduce a salary sacrifice arrangement. If you're a junior at a multinational corporation, your chances are probably slim. However, because a salary sacrifice arrangement could increase your pension pot by thousands of pounds, it's probably worth fighting for. Here are 3 strong arguments that might help you convince your boss. Number 1. Other employers are doing it. Salary sacrifice pensions are available from some of the country's biggest and most reputable companies, as universities and other organisations, including BT, Tesco and the BBC. If it's relevant for your employer to be competitive in the jobs market, they should also be offering this benefit. Reason number 2. It's easy to implement. The paperwork only has to be done once. It's quite straightforward. Bear in mind, though, there are some employers are still grappling with their auto-enrollment duties and may fear that a salary sacrifice pension arrangement will not be auto-enrollment compliant. It will be their responsibility to check. And reason number 3, you're giving your employees a free pay rise. I think this is by far the most powerful argument you can use to convince your employer to introduce a salary sacrifice pension arrangement. You, the employee, effectively receives a pay increase that doesn't cost your employer a penny. The taxman foots the entire bill. How many employers would turn down such an opportunity? These are what I believe are the strongest arguments, but if you're still struggling to convince your boss to introduce a salary sacrifice pension arrangement, there are compromises you could suggest. The most obvious compromise is offering to share the national insurance savings. Remember, there are 2 types of national insurance, the type you pay as an employee and the type your employer pays. To get the maximum benefit from salary sacrifice, both you and your employers, national insurance savings are paid into your pension plan. This is how you can boost your overall contributions by up to 38%. Let's look at the breakdown. Your employer currently pays 15.05% national insurance on every pound you earn over £9,100. That's in the 22-23 tax year. As a compromise, you may need to offer your employer half of their national insurance saving, so 7.5% of the salary sacrifice amount, to set up the scheme. In an ideal world, your employer would agree to share the national insurance savings for just 1 year to compensate for time spent setting up the salary sacrifice, but you may need to concede ongoing. If that's the case, let's look at the impact. As a basic rate taxpayer making a £1,000 personal pension contribution, you can expect to see your total gross contribution go up from £1,250 to £1,723 with a salary sacrifice arrangement. That's an increase of 38%. That's if your employer contributes their full national insurance saving of £225 into your pot. If they only agree to contribute half their national insurance saving, your gross pension contribution would increase from £1,250 to £1,610. That's still a very worthwhile 29% increase, so you're still significantly better off with a salary sacrifice pension. As a high rate taxpayer making a personal contribution of £2,400 into your pension, the total gross contribution would go up from £3,000 to £3,649 with a salary sacrifice arrangement. That's an increase of 22%. This assumes your employer contributes their full national insurance saving of £477. If the employer only agrees to contribute half their national insurance saving, then the increase would be from £3,000 gross to £3,411, an increase of 14%. Either way, you're still better off with a salary sacrifice pension. These scenarios assume that you have a cooperative employer willing to share at least some of their national insurance savings. But what if your employer refuses to share any of their national insurance savings at all? Would salary sacrifice still be worthwhile pursuing? If you're a basic rate taxpayer, salary sacrifice pension may still be worthwhile having because your pension contributions will still be approximately 20% higher. If you're a high rate taxpayer, a salary sacrifice pension will increase your pension contributions by just 6%. Remember, high rate taxpayers only pay 3.25% national insurance on their earnings over $50,270. So a salary sacrifice saves you very little unless some of or all of your employer's much larger 15.05% national insurance bill is also added to your pension pot. In a nutshell, a salary sacrifice arrangement loses most of its appeal if you're a high rate taxpayer and your employer refuses to share their national insurance savings. It also loses its appeal if your employer is a small company that pays no NI at all. That's because most businesses currently receive an allowance of £5,000 a year to offset against their national insurance bills, which means there may be no employer's national insurance payable if there are only a small number of employees with relatively low salaries. Whilst you can still put your national insurance savings into your pension pot, there will be no employer NI saving to boost your pot further. I hope that's given you some ideas on how to approach a conversation about salary sacrifice with your employer. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. I'm Justin King. I'm a chartered and certified financial planner, and my aim is to help you live a successful life. And that often involves understanding your money. I host a podcast called the Retirement Cafe Podcast. You might like to tune into that. Check out the description below, and of course you can sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is packed with inspiration and tips for a successful retirement. If you've enjoyed this video, please press the like button to help more people like you find my channel, and of course subscribe so you never miss an episode. For now, I'm Justin King, helping you live your best life.